Hey everyone, before we dive into this wild story, please hit that subscribe button to join our channel and stay updated with more crazy workplace tales like this one. I walked into the office that Monday morning, coffee in hand, ready to tackle a big client presentation scheduled for Friday. My secretary, Lisa, greeted me with her usual tight-lipped smile, but something felt off. I brushed it aside, assuming it was just Monday blues. My desk was piled high with files, each one critical for the pitch to secure a $1 million deal. I'd spent months preparing, ensuring every detail was perfect. Lisa had been my right hand, organizing my notes and keeping things on track. Or so I thought. By midday, I noticed my computer was acting strange. Files were missing. Not just any files, but the client data I needed for the presentation. My heart sank as I realized the scope of the problem. Hours of searching turned up nothing. The files were gone. I asked Lisa if she'd seen them, and she shrugged, claiming ignorance. Her tone was cold, almost smug, and it set off alarms in my head. By evening, I was in a panic, unsure how to recover. Tuesday morning, I doubled down, scouring backups and cloud drives for any trace of the lost files. Nothing. I called IT, who confirmed the files had been manually deleted from my system. The timestamp pointed to late Monday, when I was in a meeting. Lisa had been the only one near my desk. My stomach churned as suspicion grew. She'd always been territorial about her role. I confronted her gently, asking if she'd accessed my computer. Her denial was quick, her eyes avoiding mine. I didn't push, but I knew something was wrong. I spent the day rebuilding what I could from memory, piecing together client data. It was grueling, and I barely slept that night. The presentation loomed, and I was running out of time. Lisa's behavior grew stranger. She was overly cheerful, almost mocking. I started to wonder if this was deliberate. By Wednesday, I was in survival mode, working late to recreate the presentation from scratch. I dug through old emails, called clients for updated figures, and leaned on my team for support. Lisa, meanwhile, was nowhere to be found when I needed her. She'd leave early, claiming personal errands, which wasn't like her. I found a stray note on her desk with my file name scribbled out, crossed in red ink. My suspicions hardened. This wasn't an accident. I couldn't prove it yet, but I felt her sabotage in my bones. Instead of confronting her again, I focused on the task at hand. I pulled an all-nighter, fueled by coffee and determination. By dawn, I had a rough draft of the presentation. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. I started to see a way through the chaos. Maybe this disaster could be salvaged. Thursday morning, I walked into the office with a new sense of purpose. I'd spent hours refining the presentation, and it was coming together. My team rallied around me, offering ideas and data to fill the gaps. Lisa, however, was a ghost, barely engaging, her desk oddly empty. I overheard her on the phone, laughing about someone's big day going south. It stung, but I didn't have time to dwell. I poured everything into the slides, making them sharper than before. The loss of the original files forced me to rethink my approach. I simplified the pitch, focusing on the client's core needs. By evening, I felt a spark of confidence. The presentation was leaner, more compelling. I realized the sabotage had pushed me to innovate. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. Late Thursday, I caught Lisa hovering near my desk, her expression unreadable. I asked her point-blank if she'd deleted the files. She stammered, claiming it was an accident during a cleanup. Her story didn't add up. IT had confirmed deliberate deletion. I kept my cool, knowing I couldn't afford a scene before the big day. Instead, I locked my computer and backed up my new work to a secure drive. The betrayal stung, but it lit a fire in me. I stayed up late again, polishing every slide, every word. The presentation was now a reflection of my resilience, not just data. I started to see Lisa's actions as a twisted gift. Without her sabotage, I wouldn't have pushed myself this hard. By midnight, I was ready, or as ready as I'd ever be. Friday morning, the day of the presentation, I walked into the boardroom with my head high. Lisa was there, watching from the back, her face a mix of curiosity and disdain. I ignored her and focused on the clients, who filled the room with expectant energy. My new presentation was bold, direct, and engaging. I spoke from the heart, weaving in anecdotes I'd remembered while rebuilding the data. The clients leaned in, nodding, asking questions. I felt the room shift in my favor. Lisa's sabotage had stripped away the fluff, leaving only what mattered. By the end, the clients were smiling, impressed. I'd turned a disaster into a triumph. As they applauded, I caught Lisa's eye. She looked stunned. After the presentation, the clients pulled me aside, praising the clarity and passion of my pitch. They wanted to move forward with the deal, a huge win for the company. My boss was ecstatic, calling it one of the best pitches he'd seen. I didn't mention Lisa's role. Not yet. I needed proof before acting. Back at my desk, I found an email from IT with a detailed log of the file deletions. It confirmed Lisa's account had accessed and deleted the files. My heart raced, but I stayed calm. I forwarded the evidence to HR and my boss, keeping it professional. Lisa's sabotage had backfired. She'd underestimated me. The presentation's success was mine, not hers to ruin. I felt a strange gratitude for the chaos she'd caused. By Friday afternoon, word of the pitch's success spread through the office. Colleagues congratulated me, unaware of the drama behind it. Lisa avoided me, her usual smugness replaced by unease. I didn't confront her. I didn't need to. HR called her in for a meeting, and she left the office pale. I focused on the victory, not the betrayal. The new presentation was better than the original, and I'd learned to trust my instincts. The clients sent a follow-up email, locking in the deal. I was on cloud nine, but grounded by what I'd overcome. Lisa's actions had forced me to step up in ways I hadn't expected. I was stronger for it, and she was about to face the consequences. That evening, I reflected on the week's chaos over a glass of wine at home. Lisa's sabotage could have destroyed me, but it didn't. Instead, it revealed my ability to adapt under pressure. I'd turned a potential disaster into a career-defining moment. The client's trust, my boss's praise, it all felt earned. I thought about Lisa, wondering why she'd done it. Jealousy, maybe, or a need for control. It didn't matter. Her actions had backfired, making me the star of the presentation. I saved the IT logs and HR's response, ready for whatever came next. The week had been a roller coaster, but I'd come out on top. I slept soundly, knowing I'd faced sabotage and won. Presentation. That was me, and I owned it.
By the next week, Lisa was gone. HR had acted swiftly after reviewing the evidence. The office buzzed with whispers, but staff focused on work. The client dialogue was moving forward, and my reputation soared. It was invited to lead more stack speeches. The ordeal had taught me to back up my word religiously and trust my gut about people. Lisa's sabotage had been a wake-up call, but also a catalyst. Without it, I wouldn't have reimagined the presentation or found my confidence. It was grateful, in a way, for the lesson. My career was stronger, and it was ready for whatever came next. The star of the presentation, that was me, and I owned it. Looking back, I realized Lisa's sabotage had roots in our dynamic from day one. She'd always been meticulous, but there was an edge to her efficiency. Early on, I noticed her bristling when it got pressed for our homework. I'd brushed it off, thinking it was just her personality. But now, it was clear she'd resented my success. The deleted files weren't a mistake, they were a calculated move. Rebuilding the presentation had forced me to dig deeper into the client's needs. I decayed contacts, re-verified data, and found insights I'd overlooked before. The new pitch was sharper because of it. Lisa's plan to derail me had backfired spectacularly. It wasn't just a survivor, it was a creator. Her sabotage had lit a spark I didn't know I had. The Monday after the presentation, I walked into a different office vibe. My team treated me like a hero, and my boss hinted at a promotion. The clientele was the talk of the company, and my name was attached to it. I didn't take lot, but I felt a quiet pride. Lisa's absence left a void, but also a relief. I hired a new assistant, someone eager and transparent. I made sure to set clear boundaries from the start. The experience taught me to protect my work and my peace. I also started mentoring younger colleagues, sharing what I learned. The presentation success wasn't just about the ideal. It was about growth. It was no longer just the guy with the good pitch. As weeks passed, the client ideal grew into a long-term partnership. I was invited to strategy meetings. My input valued in was it hadn't been before. The sabotage had been a dark moment, but it reshaped my career. I started documenting everything, processes, ideas, even small wins. It wasn't just about avoiding another Lisa. It was about owning my work. I also invested in my team, fostering trust and collaboration. The presentation had been a solo triumph, but I knew success was a team effort. Lisa's actions have pushed me to rethink how I led. It was more intentional, more present. Her sabotage had made me a better leader, not just a presenter. One day, I got a call from a former colleague who had worked with Lisa years ago. They weren't surprised by her actions. She had pulled similar stunts before. It wasn't personal. It was her pattern. That gave me closure, but also perspective. I devened trusting, assuming loyalty came with the job. Now, I vetted my circle carefully, valuing authenticity over polish. The presentation success lingered in my mind, not just for the ideal, but for what it taught me. It turned chaos into opportunity, sabotage into strengths. I kept the old presentation draft as a reminder. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Lisa's betrayal had been a painful gift. Months later, I was tasked with leading a new client pitch, this time for an even bigger account. The stakes were big, but I felt ready. The memory of Lisa's sabotage was distant, but its lessons were fresh. I backed up my work obsessively, shared tasks with my team, and double-checked everything. The new assistant was a dream, catching details I missed. The pitch went flawlessly, and we landed the deal. Colleagues started calling me the comeback kid, a nickname I wore proudly. I realized the sabotage had required how I approached challenges. I wasn't afraid of setbacks anymore. They were chances to shine. Lisa tried to dim my light, but I burned brighter. Reflecting on that week, I saw how close I had come to crumbling. The panic, the sleepless nights, the betrayal. It could have broken me, but it didn't. Rebuilding the presentation forced me to tap into skills I had undervalued: creativity, grit, adaptability. I'd always been good at my job, but now it was exceptional. The clients hadn't used both the pitch, they bought my conviction. Lisa's sabotage had stripped away my reliance on routine. I learned to trust myself under pressure, to pivot when things went wrong. That week wasn't just a win, it was a transformation. I wasn't the same person who had walked into the office that Monday. The company started using my presentation as a case study for training new hires. They called it the turnaround pitch, a note to how I salvaged disaster. I was asked to speak at a team retreat, sharing the story, minus Lisa's name. I focused on resilience, preparation, and teamwork. The response was so overwhelming. Colleagues said it inspired them. I realized the sabotage had given me a platform, not just a paycheck. I started a side project, mentoring young professionals on navigating workplace challenges. It felt like paying forward the lessons I learned. Lisa's actions had ripple effects, but they were positive ones. It was building something bigger than a single presentation. A year later, I got an unexpected email from Lisa. She apologized, vaguely, claiming stress had clouded her judgment. I didn't respond, I didn't need to. Her words didn't undo the betrayal, but they confirmed the moved on. My career was thriving, with new opportunities every month. The client had opened doors to bigger projects, and I was leading them with confidence. I learned to spot red flags in colleagues and to trust my instincts. The sabotage had been a low point, but it launched me to new heights. I kept a copy of the logs, not out of spite, var as a reminder. I turned her malice into my masterpiece. The office dynamics shifted after the incident. People were more open, less guarded. My transparency about the pitch's success and its challenges built trust. I was no longer just a coworker. I was a leader. I started hosting weekly check-ins, encouraging my team to share ideas and concerns. It wasn't just about avoiding sabotage. It was about creating a culture of accountability. The presentation had been a solo effort, but its aftermath was collaborative. I leaned on my team, and they leaned back. Lisa's actions have shown me what not to do, but also what to build. The office felt like a team again, not a battlefield. Looking back, I saw the sabotage as a turning point, not a tragedy. It forced me to rethink how it worked, who I trusted, and what I valued. The presentation wasn't just a win. It was a reverse. I'd been good before, but now it was unstoppable. My boss put me up for a leadership role, citing my handling of the crisis. I accepted, ready to take on more. The client deal was now a flagship project, and it was its face. Lisa's sabotage tried to erase me, but it made me undeniable. It was the start of the presentation, not because of luck, but because I fought for it. The following year, I was invited to speak at an industry conference about overcoming workplace challenges. I shared the story of the presentation, framing it as a lesson in resilience. The audience was captivated, asking for tips on handling setbacks. I told them to embrace chaos. It's where growth happens. The sabotage had taught me that preparation isn't enough. You need grit. I credited my team, my instincts, and even Lisa's betrayal for pushing me forward. The conference top led to consulting offers, expanding my network. What started as a crisis had become a career-defining story. I wasn't just the guy who nailed a pitch. It was a voice in the industry. Back at the office, I implemented new systems to protect our work. Cloud backups, access logs, and team accountability became a standard. I wasn't paranoid, just prepared. My new assistant thrived in the transparent culture we built. The team's morale was higher than ever, and our projects reflected it. We landed another major client, and I led the pitch wishes. The sabotage had made me obsessive about details, but in a good way. I saw challenges as puzzles, not threats. Lisa's actions had been a dark spark, but they ignited my potential. It was leading with purpose, not just surviving. One evening, I found the original presentation draft buried in a backup folder I overlooked. It was good, but not great. The new version, born from necessity, was sharper, more human. I laughed, realizing Lisa's sabotage had done me a favor. The old files were safe, but I didn't need them. The crisis had forced me to innovate, to connect with the client on a deeper level. I archived the draft, a relic of a tougher team. My career was now about moving forward, not looking back. The sabotage had been a detour, not a dead end. I was grateful for the lesson, even if it came from betrayal. As my role grew, I started mentoring others outside the company. Young professionals reached out, inspired by my conference talk. I shared practical advice: back up your work, trust your gut, and turn setbacks into stories. The sabotage had given me a narrative that resonated. It wasn't just a success, it was a survivor. My mentees saw me as proof that you can rise above betrayal. I didn't dwell on Lisa. She was a footnote in my story. The presentation had been the spark, but my growth was the fire. It was building a legacy. One pitch, one lesson at a time. The client from that fateful presentation became one of our biggest accounts. They praised my authenticity. Sign it set us apart. I realized the sabotage had forced me to show up as myself, not just a polished presenter. That authenticity became my brand. I was invited to more speaking gigs, sharing how crises can shape success. Each talk refined my story, making it a beacon for others. Lisa's actions had tried to dim my light, but they demanded it seen brighter. It was no longer defined by one presentation, but by what I learned from it. The star wasn't just me. It was the story. 2 years later, I was running my own division, a role I'd never imagined before the sabotage. My team was tight-knit, built on trust and transparency. We landed deals that worth the original client pitch. I still thought about that week, not with anger, but with clarity. Lisa's betrayal had been a catalyst, not a curse. I they learned to lead through chaos, to turn obstacles into opportunities. My office wall had a framed slide from the presentation, a reminder of what they overcome. Colleagues asked about it, and they smiled, saying, "It's a long story." But it wasn't just a story. It was my truth. The industry started recognizing me as a turnaround expert. Companies gave me to consult on their own crises, from data losses to team conflicts. You said the sabotage story to show how setbacks can spark innovation. My approach was simple: prepare, adapt, and own your narrative. Lisa's actions had given me a platform I hadn't sought. I was grateful, not for her betrayal, but for what it told me. The presentation had been a battle, but I won the war. My career was proof that you can rise above sabotage. It was the star, not because I was perfect, but because I persevered. One day, I got a LinkedIn message from Lisa, asking to connect. I didn't accept. Her role in my story was done. It was focused on the future, new deals, new challenges, new wins. The sabotage had been a defining moment, but it didn't define me. It was more than a single crisis. My team, my clients, and my mentees saw me as a leader who thrived under pressure. The presentation had been the spark, but my resilience was the flame. I kept pushing, knowing no one could dim my light again. Lisa's sabotage had made me unstoppable, and it was just getting started. Reflecting now, I see the sabotage as a gift disguised as a disaster. It forced me to rebuild, not just a presentation, but myself. I learned to trust my instincts, lean on my team, and embrace chaos. The client deal was a win, but the real victory was my growth. I turned betrayal into a career-defining moment. My story inspired others, from colleagues to strangers at conferences. Lisa's actions had tried to break me, but they built me instead. It was the star of the presentation, not because of what I lost, but because of what I gained. That week reshaped my life, and I do it all again. Today, I lead with confidence, knowing setbacks are used setups for success. This sabotage taught me to own my work, my story, and my future. I'm not just the guy who nailed the pitch. I'm the guy who turned disaster into destiny. My team thrives, my clients trust me, and my career soars. Lisa's betrayal was a blip, not a breaking point. It kept that from the slide on my wall, a reminder of what's possible. The presentation was my stage, and is shown. If you're facing your own workplace drama, know this: you can turn it around. Own your story, and you will the start to. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride. If you love this story, hit that subscribe button to catch more tales of triumph and workplace drama. Stay tuned for the next one.